Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and today was a very big day for us in that we finally got another letter from the producer. It has been a long time coming. We've all been waiting anxiously for this patch because it's wrapping up Shadowbringers. Like, we were all so excited, and then after everything that's been going on in the world, it was set back by a couple months, and so that was a huge disappointment there. Not that I blame the dev team, I understand, I've said that before, and I think that it was very reasonable that they were able to ask us to wait just a little bit longer, but it does look like it's going to be worth the wait from just what I saw. So I have already seen the trailer. If you want to see my complete freak out of the trailer, you can just go right down below and you can see my live reaction to that. But from what we saw, it's going to be really good. I cannot wait to see it. So this here is just going to be a quick summary of everything that we learned so far from the last letter from the producer. And yeah, I hope you're all going to enjoy it. So let's start things off here. Now, we're just going to start off real quick by just a quick recap of what we already know is coming. So for patch 5.3, we have the new main scenario quest line that's going to be waiting for us. And in accordance with all the changes that they made to the main scenario quest in A Realm Reborn, players now have to complete the Crystal Tower quest series as well as the quest called My Little Chocobo, which unlocks your mount. Now, the Crystal Tower quests, that I can understand because it is such a huge part of Shadowbringers, at least the Crystal Tower is. I'm a little bit confused as to why they suddenly say it's a requirement that we have to do the quest My Little Chocobo. Though personally, I think that any real gamer would be trying to get to that quest as soon as possible so that you can ride your mounts. Because it really doesn't take too much. You have to be at least a level 20, you have to join a grand company, and spend some company seals in order to get your license. So yeah, it really isn't that difficult. So if anyone out there is complaining about that, I don't know how you've been able to make it up through this game so far without a mount, but hey, it's not that hard. Anyway, we have the new tribe quests, which are the dwarves, which are going to be focusing on crafting. The new Chronicles of a New Era quest line, which is going to continue the Sorrows of Wylert. But kudos to those who say that this machine was actually built by the Ironworks. Yeah, because I didn't believe it at first, because it just doesn't seem like something that Cid would do. But it seems that the Ironworks are progressing technology faster than Garlemald is, so I'll chalk that one all up to Cid. But I guess we could thank the adventures we had with Cid for this, because this new Ironworks Gundam probably wouldn't be possible without the knowledge of Alexander, Omega, and maybe the newly recently obtained Ruby weapon, but hey, that's just me. There's also the new instance dungeon known as the Hero's Gauntlet, where they say it's going to be kind of like a farewell to the first, because after this we're going to start to focus more of our energies back on the source and probably up against the Empire, and this whole dungeon is supposed to be us running through it and kind of bidding farewell to the first. And I guess maybe we get to visit like each one of the areas. I don't know how we'd be able to do that in just one dungeon. I'm really excited to see how they do that. The new trials, which are still secret, the normal and the extreme version. We have some theories already flying around on who it might be. Some say it's the Crystal Exarch, others say that it's going to be Oddbird, or I guess the Elidibus Oddbird. I'm still not completely convinced that we're going to be up against Elidibus, or at the very least, I don't think that we're going to be killing him off in this patch, because, I mean, if you really look at it, it took all of Shadowbringers to be able to deal with Emix and probably, like, at least part of A Realm Reborn to take care of La Habrea, and even then, La Habrea did not die that easily. We didn't get rid of him until Heavensward, and yeah, it's going to be a lot longer than just one patch in order to get rid of him. But we do also have some more information about the Dark Apocalypse, which is Chapter 2, known as the Puppet's Bunker. And we'll go into a little bit more information on that in a minute. We also have the Realm Reborn revamp, which is going to be kind of remodeling the Realm Reborn questline, and they're going to make it just a little bit more streamlined, like make it easier for players to really be interested in it, and just cut out the quests that may not be as important or that we can do without. We're also going to have the Unreal Trials and the Faux Hollows. The next round of the Resistance Weapons quest is going to be updated, but that won't be until later, until patch 5.35. And this is going to be the first step in upgrading our weapons, including a new large-scale instance, which is the Bosjan Southern Front. And kind of the impression I got with that was kind of like a mixture between Eureka and PvP. That's just kind of what I saw. There's also going to be some new job adjustments, including PvP, and Season 16 of the Feast will also begin with patch 5.3. There's also going to be some new crafter and gatherer updates, including a new custom delivery client. Trial synthesis is going to be added. It's going to be a brand new thing. There's going to be kind of a reverse lookup for recipes when you're using materials in your inventory. Items requested as collectibles will no longer be random. There's also going to be the next step of the Ishgardian Restoration update, which is not going to be until patch 5.31. But we're also going to be getting the new Skysteel Tools update, which is going to be coming out in patch 5.35. So that's going to be something cool to see. Any other updates that we have? Well, we do have a couple. We have a party of players will be able to join another party through the party finder. We have the option to specify 1 player per job, and that's going to be added to the party finder. Players are going to be able to use the world visit system while they're in a cross-world party. There's new chapters that are going to be added in the new game plus. So we get to visit old series and quest lines. That's going to be cool. New token exchange vendors are going to be added to major cities. And we're going to have a fashion accessories menu option that's going to be added, which includes the new parasols. And I think they mentioned before there's going to be at least 8 different types of new parasols that we can be expecting. So that's kind of everything that we already knew so far, but we're actually going to be getting a nice look of what we can be expecting that's new. So here we go. We have the sticker mode that Yoshi P was playing around with earlier. So this is going to be like a very special part of the game where you can stick on like all these stickers and just play around, like really make cute images. Oh, and in case you're wondering about the split melon at her feet, those aren't stickers. Those actually looks like to be like some kind of new minion. I don't know how they're gonna work that in because it looks like just a giant watermelon that's split in half, but they did show it like hopping around, so that's really cool there. So anyway, the sticker mode is where you have kind of like a nice list of different kinds of quotes or stickers or images that you just want to stick up, and you're free to be as creative as you want. So these actually would make kind of cute screenshots. So you could actually tell that they had a lot of fun playing around with the stickers. So moving on to this next part, we actually get a glimpse of the new outfit that's going to be waiting for us, like the new level 1 special gear, which looks like a skirt and a Hawaiian shirt. Hey, I'll give them points for creativity. So yeah, there's the new minion, which looks like a giant watermelon that rolls around and splits open. Again, don't know how they managed that, but moving on. We have a look at one of the new mounts that we can be expecting. So I'm pretty sure we're getting this from the Puppet's Bunker. It might be a special reward. So it's kind of like what you see 2P riding around on. And yes, they are doing it. They are making it so that we can fly around. And it looks like they're adding like some new like parts here, at least in Costa del Sol. Like you saw that giant tower, which is going to be cool. But yes, we can finally fly around here. No more running from place to place or teleporting. You can actually fly. Oh, it's going to be saving so much time. It's going to be so less annoying. Don't get me wrong. I love like the Realm Reborn areas. I still visit them often. It's just so frustrating sometimes. So we actually have this giant robot that I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting as some kind of reward from the Bosjan front. The Bosjan Southern Front. And this is actually based off the design of one of the bosses that we got from the Evilisten quest line. Which would make sense because if you watch that, then you do see like a very special cutscene like at the very end that was kind of hinting at the whole Bosjan front. So this is actually a good look of what Camp Bronze Lake looks like when we're flying around, and we can actually fly straight over and around the Wanderer's Palace. So we can't actually enter here. That's all part of a separate dungeon, so I'm not surprised, but we're actually getting a good look of what's behind it, which I don't think we ever actually did before. And it looks so much smaller, like well, now that we're right up against it, but still it looks so cool. And I love this robot guy. He's amazing. Like, I think that's gonna be like one of my new favorite mounts. They're also showing us a quick look of another area, which is in Thanalan, which is just outside Horizon. So we're getting a good look of probably an area that we haven't seen too much of. Yeah, so we haven't really seen like way up here. We've never been up here before, I don't think. Not that I remember it. So we're actually getting to see a lot of new places that we never thought that we'd get the chance to see before. So moving on to what else we can be expecting. They are changing things a little bit for the free trial expansion. So basically, if you are brand new to the world of Final Fantasy XIV, you generally have a 1 month free trial where you can just run around, you can play this game, and it doesn't cost you anything because it is a monthly subscription. But the free trial is the 1 month that's free. The thing is though, you have a level cap that you have to play up to. So once you reach that level cap, in this case it was 35, you couldn't go any further. So that's where you kind of had to either decide that you wanted to keep playing the game and just subscribe to it, or you can just quit it from there. And so they are changing things up so that they have the new level cap, which is going to be from 35 to 60. So you can actually play this game all the way up to Heaven's Ward, up to patch 3.56 anyway. And that also includes all the other jobs, including Dark Knight, Astrologian, and Machinist, which would all be playable within this whole new expansion, within the free trial as well. And you can even play as an Al Ra, which I don't think that you could do that so far. I think it was like the original 5 races were the only ones that you could play as with the free trial. And they also showed us a little bit more about the Puppet's bunker. So here we are, we see Yoshi P wandering around here, and it looks like we're in the desert. So if I had to guess, this looks like a part of maybe Amnarang. I guess I could kind of see it maybe because there's the mountains in the background, so it could be on Kalusha, but my money is really more focused on the idea that this is actually somewhere in Amnarang. So this here is just like, it's really cool. Like, it looks like a spaceship somehow crash landed here or something. Like, this was once like a highly advanced city. Like, maybe not a city, but at least a kind of maybe a satellite. Ooh, that's a good idea. I didn't really think about that. Like, maybe like this whole thing with the Yorkai was actually some kind of giant satellite that was launched into space somehow and just crashed here. Or maybe they're aliens, like one or the other. That would be really neat. So this here is actually one of the bosses that we're going to be fighting up against. Yoshi P kind of turned it off here so we can actually get a good look at this guy without being attacked. It looks like mostly original bosses this time, with only the androids helping one of them out as kind of like an ads or an AoEs. It's interesting to see where this is all going to go. But they did show us the gear that we could be winning from this, and here are some of the pictures. They don't really give us what type of jobs these are specifically for, but they look really cool. Like, they're like long, dark trench coats and dresses. Their eyes are still covered. And I really like the style here. This one I'm a little bit confused about with the hat, because it kind of looks like maybe something for samurai. Now this next one though, I'm pretty sure is for the ninja. At least that's kind of what I'm getting from the ninja pose here. So I'm pretty sure that we can be expecting like this completed outfit for the ninja. And they also showed us another picture of the new level 1 special gear, which I pointed out earlier. So yeah, it looks like a Hawaiian shirt and khakis. So for the male version, it's like the pant legs. For the female, it's a skirt. For some of the housing gear, they did show us what looks like to be part of, which actually looks like something that we can get from Yokai as well. So we have like the metal walls, we got like the flashing lights. Like, it looks a bit like the copied factory that you can actually put inside your house, which is really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to putting that in my place. Kind of like, I guess, a futon couch or something. I know what these things are, I just can't think of what they're called. For some other housing items that they were showing off, it looks like what can only be described as an enormous burger that is in the shape of a beaver. A beaver burger. I mean, I have no idea what else it could possibly be, but now I'm really hungry for some reason. As for this stuff here, I'm not sure. I can't really tell real clearly what it is. I mean, if I had to guess, it looks like takoyaki. At least from here, that's what it looks like. But yeah, that's going to be some new like food housing items that we can be expecting. And for this last picture that they showed off of more housing items, so we got like these really fancy, like almost stage curtains behind us, as well as what looks like a Bluebird mobile. There's a giant barrel in the background, and we have some new mannequins, which are in the shape of both the Rothgar and the Viera. So that's going to be neat to put inside your house. Now, moving on to this next part here, we're getting a kind of a quick glimpse of what the new beast tribes are going to look like, or where we can actually go to accept them. So we're here in Lakeland, and not too far from the Aetheryte. I mean, it's just like a hop, skip, and a jump from the Aetheryte that's in Fort Job. Yeah, we don't really know too much more information, but if you actually fly in real close, you can actually see the plans of what looks like a tank. We actually got a glimpse of that from the last letter from the producer, which was an actual letter of apology from the Yoshi P and the Dove team. So yeah, this whole series of questline is going to be us helping these dwarves. I'm impressed they managed to build something like this in such a short amount of time, but it looks like they're going to be here in Lakeland, maybe helping the Crystarium kind of shore up their defenses, to help get rid of whatever Sin Eaters are left in the world. It's something anyway. I really don't know where they're going to go with this, but we're going to be focusing on crafting. So if you're having trouble leveling up all your crafters, this is going to be a good place for you to do so. As for the crafting and gatherer updates themselves, they do have the trial synthesis, so once you reach level 15, you can actually practice crafting items without using necessary materials, which is going to be really helpful, and it's probably going to save us a lot of time and energy on collecting all of the resources that we need for that. They also have what's known as the reverse lookup function, and what that is, this helps you search for recipes through the materials that you have already in your inventory. So if you're just looking for maybe just random items that you just want to craft so that you can immediately sell them, but you don't want to look through every single recipe, you can actually go to this and they can tell you, like, based on what materials you already have, this is what you can make with those right now. So that's really interesting. They also show the specific item quality in the raw materials list. So this is kind of like to set the number of items that you want to craft. Like for example, they have like these gloves here. Like say for example, you want to craft 4 gloves for whatever reason. Like again, you just want to sell them. This is actually going to show you like how many materials that you need to be able to craft this. Now, moving on to this next part, they actually showed us a few of the minions that we can be expecting. So before they had this little pterodactyl, which I think that we might be getting from the Ishgardian restoration updates. That's just something to look into. But it looks like we actually have like a miniature version of the boss that everyone's talking about. So this is actually going to be a miniature version of one of the bosses. It's going to be from the new dungeon, it looks like, that we're going to be running through, the Hero's Gauntlet. And already like the forums are blowing up with like her fan art and all these theories flying around who she might be. Some people think that she's like some corrupted version of a warrior of light. Others say that she's a fae folk. Some say that she's a void sense. I'm sure we'll find out, so that's going to be cool to see. But speaking of the Ishgardian restoration, the third phase of the restoration is going to begin with patch 5.31, which is going to be, I would say, at least a month, maybe a month and a half after the initial release date of 5.3. There's going to be new gathering items added to the diadem, and the new Sky Builder ranking system is reopening. So there's going to be new items that are going to count for your seasonal score, and the top ranked crafters and gatherers are going to receive special achievements and titles. And they actually show us right here just how that's going to work. So if you come into first place, so first to 12th place, you get one of the brand new titles or achievements. If you come in like first to 100th place, which is kind of like second place, then you get kind of the runners-up version, I suppose. Like you get the titles that you would have gotten from the first round, basically. So here's another minion that they showed us. It looks like a galley cat, except that it is now wearing what looks like a cute little like snow cloak. So I'm pretty sure this is one of the new minions that we're going to be getting for the Sky Builder scripts. So we're going to have a brand new galley cat that is really, really cold and is going to be wearing a cute little snow coat. Oh, that's really cute. Alright, so moving on to Save the Queen, Blades of Brunhilde. Now, we still don't know what that image here is for. Personally, I think that might be kind of a reference to Ashura, or maybe some kind of other primal. I do think that this is going to be leading up to us fighting some kind of a primal version, or at least trying to put a stop to the primal. Anyway, for the Blades of Brunhilde, this is going to be the next step in kind of the weapons upgrade. So it's a new large-scale encounter with the Bosjan Southern Front. So you get to band together with up to 72 other players and assist the Bosjan resistance in their mission to rout out the Imperial Legion and kind of reclaim their homeland. You get to focus on the story quest, or you can take up extra challenges. It's completely up to you. So here's a screenshot of kind of like our home base. You can kind of see like the castrum in the distance. So that's going to be like the main headquarters that we're going to try to reach through and take them out so that we can kind of reclaim like whatever's left of Bosja. So it's actually really similar to Eureka in a lot of ways. Like it's kind of like the Baldessian arsenal in the distance, and we're trying to get there. And I have a feeling that once we get there, it's going to be like kind of a Imperial version of the Baldessian arsenal. So you can run through here as any one of the jobs. You just have to be at least a 71 or higher to be able to enter. Players are free to change jobs and form parties once they're inside. And you can gain experience when you're using jobs that are below level 80, which is another way for you to actually level up your job. And that's actually a clever way to do that, in case you still have some jobs that you're trying to level up. But once you enter, all players will be level synced to level 80, and all gear is going to be an item level of 430. So pretty reasonable, I think. But a really, really good advantage to this that Eureka did not have is that mounts can be used immediately after entering. However, you won't be able to fly. Probably a wise idea too, because, I mean, let's face it, the Imperials have guns. They would probably just shoot us down. So here is actually one of the new kind of creatures we're going to be up against. We're joining forces with the Bosjans, and some Imperial weaponry is being launched against us. So you get to do battle with the Imperial Legion to raise your metal, and with sufficient metal you can raise your resistance ranks to help the front lines push forward. Players will also increase their metal by joining special encounters in the Southern Front, so you can choose to join either critical engagements or skirmishes. Metal can't be gained from killing enemies outside of these encounters though, so these are going to be like special fates that you have to do if you want to increase your metal. So what exactly are the skirmishes and critical engagements? Well, the skirmishes are kind of, basically what the skirmishes are, they're very similar to fates, more or less. There are no limits to the number of players that can participate, and you're rewarded metal based on how much you contribute to the battle. Players will also receive lockboxes, which can be a prize to receive various rewards, again, much like with Eureka. As for the critical engagements though, battles initiated after meeting special conditions. So only a limited number of people can actually participate in the critical engagements, and they usually range from 24 to 48 people battles. And they're designed to be intense battles that will take place outside in the field, and they're comparable to dungeons or raid bosses. And once it's triggered, players do have a limited amount of time to request deployment. So as soon as you see that pop up, you have to immediately say, yes, I want to go in. And then it's kind of first come, first serve. If you miss it, then you just have to wait until the next critical engagement. And so we have a couple more screenshots here. So if there are more requests for deployment than are permitted for an engagement, participants will be selected at random. However, it is possible to gain priority in participant selection and then contribute to triggering the critical engagement, and then use special items to use in the Bosjan Southern Front. So basically there's going to be a lot of special rules that you kind of have to follow, and I guess that makes sense because it is kind of a battlefield. And yes, people, we have something very new. It's completely revolutionary. We have the ability to climb ladders. Yes, we can climb ladders now. As you can see, this screenshot here of us climbing up a ladder, and probably going to be facing up against this boss. So this looks like a critical engagement battle. So this is going to be like the foe that we're going to be up against if we do reach this far in the game. That's going to be cool. Okay, now we have lost actions. So these are very similar to the special kind of actions that we did get in Eureka. They're special actions that can only be used in the Bojin Southern Front. They offer various beneficial effects, healing, and can even revive players in battle, which is going to be helpful. And lost actions are created from forgotten fragments attained in the field. So I'm guessing that these are going to be kind of like those pieces that we get in Eureka, and once we collect enough of them, we can unlock these special abilities. And they did show us a little bit of what it's going to be like. So here's Yoshi P back in the game. And yeah, so this looks like kind of our base of operations. So this is like the very tip of the southern front. So we're going to be moving forward from here. So this is the safe area. We see all these Bojins around us. We get to talk to some of them. And here's what the lost actions are going to look like. So we kind of have a long list of different abilities that we can unlock. So that's going to be fun to watch. Now, moving on to the Resistance Weapons update. So the Resistant Weapons will get their next update in this patch. And after gaining access to the Bojin Southern Front, players can also accept the quest to begin collecting items to augment their resistant weapons. The required items can be found both in and outside of the Bojin Southern Front. So moving back here, we have our robot guy, and they're actually going to be showing us just a quick little walkabout. So here we are in the trenches of the Southern Front. This looks really, really cool. It's a little bit like the Gemlik Dark, like maybe not as grim and foreboding, because there's definitely still some plant life here. There's still a lot of creatures roaming about. But yeah, so you can definitely tell that this is a battlefield. So we're going to be fighting our way across here, probably ducking down into the trenches. And as you can see, we do have our mounts right away. That's really, really cool. So it's kind of very open world here, so you're free to go wherever you want to and just basically do what you can to help the Bojins win their freedom and their home back. Now going on to the Yokai Watch collaboration event. So we actually have a really nice video here about what is going to be coming up. So they did mention before that they were planning on bringing the Yokai collaboration event back to Eorzea. And if you don't remember that, it was around, I think, 2016 where they first started it, so that was about 4 years ago. Anyway, you actually have to participate in a lot of fates in order to be able to unlock like these special weapons, like special mounts and special minions, all based off the Yokai. And they're bringing that back to Eorzea with some new modifications. So you'll still be able to gain some of the older versions. So here's the first one. So this is actually the weapon that we're going to be getting for the Gunbreaker. And the guy next to you, I know it just looks like a drawing, but he's actually supposed to be the minion that you win from this too. So yeah, this here is like the collaboration of the Gunbreaker's weapon and the kind of Gunbreaker version of the minion, which is very, very cool because it's a very different kind of design of what we're used to expecting from minions. Moving on here, this is the samurai, and that upper part that has kind of like those curvy spikes coming out of it, that's actually kind of a sheath. Then there's the katana. So we actually have Zazzle, who is going to be the minion. Just like how we have the Yokai King for the Gunbreaker, we have Zazzle for the minion for the samurai. Moving on, we have the Red Mage weapon, which is based off the Rapier of the Serpent Lord. So he's going to be a minion, as well as a quick look of what the design is for the Red Mage weapon. And the last one is actually for the Dancer, and it's based off Damonia, who is kind of a relative of Lizaria, and it's known as the Glaives of the Dark Princess. So that's actually pretty cool design. It kind of looks like a dark snowflake almost. And also they do have a brand new mount. So we haven't seen the mount yet, but this is a picture of what it's going to look like. So it kind of looks like it's a flying mount based off of Jibalan. So it's a cute cat kind of plush cushion. Like, I don't know how else to describe it except it is adorable. So yes, this is going to be the new mount, but you'll only be able to get it if you have all the other minions and weapons. So yeah, that's going to be the yokai watch. Gather one, gather all. It's just like with Pokemon, you just have to catch them all. So here is actually a quick picture of all the other weapons that you can get for all the other jobs. Like here we have the whisker and the buckler of the legendary cat, the fang of the fearless cat, and the paw of the crimson cat. So those are the tanking weapons. Moving on, we have the ears of the moon rabbit, the twin tails of the flame fox, and the spear of the spark serpent, which is going to be for monk, ninja, and dragoon respectively. Next here we have the bow of the white wisp, the musket of the metal cat, staff of the snow maiden, and book of the eerie mutt. And so that's going to be for both bard, machinist, black mage, and summoner. And the last round here we have cane of the shrine guardian, codex of the shrine guardian, and the globe of the lucky snake. So that's for the white mage, scholar, and astrologian, or rather the healers. And they were even nice enough to show us like what the weapons are going to look like. So here's for gunbreaker, here's for samurai, here's for the red mage, and of course here's for the dancer. As well as what some of the minions are going to look like. So they actually look really, really cool. Like they're actually like miniature versions of them. Oh, that's really awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. Alright, so that's basically everything that we found out so far. That's really a lot of information to take in, a lot of really cool stuff that we can be expecting, as well as some cool previews. I'm just going to mention a couple more things, and I think we'll call it there for the day. But here we have a timeline of what is going to be coming out. I know it's kind of been a bit muffled because we have like all these events coming out like right around the same time. But the first event that's going to be coming up is going to be on August 12th. But we do have patch 5.3, which is scheduled to come out August 11th. The day after that, though, we have the Moonfire Fair, which is going to be on August 12th. So that's something to really look forward to. So that's really two important things that are coming out like just literally days apart. After that, we have about a week of getting like all this neat stuff, at least starting to get that stuff done before we have the Yokai Watch event, which comes out August 19th. After that, we have the Rising event, which is not scheduled to come out until the end of August, which is the 27th. I was really looking forward to that one. I'm always looking forward to the Rising event, so I can't wait to see what they do with that. So at the end of this little timeline, we have the return of the Make It Rain campaign, which means that you can get some extra gold saucer points that you can spend at the gold saucer and get whatever you want there. And it's said that it's scheduled to take place either late October or late November. I'm personally thinking that it's going to be more like late November because we do have All Saints Wake that's supposed to come out near the end of October. So that's what I'm guessing anyway. They did show a little bit more information about the Fan Festival updates. Now, the North American Fan Festival that was scheduled for November in San Diego has been canceled. They're looking into new dates, locations, and methods to host the event. And it also looks like the Japanese Fan Festival, which was scheduled for December, is also been canceled. So they're looking into kind of new dates and locations for that one as well. As for the one in Europe that was supposed to be taking place in February 2021, it looks like that one at least will still be kind of going on as scheduled for the time being. I guess it really all depends on how the state of the world is at that point. But it did say that it's still under consideration, so it's kind of up in the air. They might have it, they might not. That's really left to be decided, I suppose. I guess it really depends on how healthy the world is at that point, and hopefully it will still continue on from there. Okay, well, that looks like just about everything that we can be expecting. We do have a special 5.3 patch note reading, which is scheduled to take place the day before, which is August 10th. So you can actually sit there and watch Yoshida read out the patch notes, like give some helpful pointers or aspects of the patch. Please note that the audio is only going to be in Japanese. They did show a few pictures about what other kind of official community broadcasts that they have, which is like the Duty Commends, the Unending Journey, the Wolf's Den, and yeah, so that's pretty much a little bit of everything. Oh, we do have new installments of Tales of the Shadow, which are scheduled to be released in late August. So if you remember from last year, we had the Tales of Shadow, where we kind of go into like maybe a little bit more lore or backstory on like some of the characters. I think last year we had Thancred's backstory, we had MXL, we kind of had Omega's point of view for like the end of the world. And we also had Istinian and how he was kind of roped into helping the Scions while the others were away. So I can't wait to see what other characters that we have this time. I mean, I'm kind of expecting maybe someone like Lena or the X-Arch. I'm expecting the X-Arch at the very least. And I think that's it, other than a couple new toys that they mentioned, which include both Omega and Yastola. But other than that, yeah, I think that's about everything that we can be expecting, and that was a lot of information. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and you're going to be looking forward to the days to come, where I think that's pretty much all the information that we're going to get for right now, like maybe a few more hints here and there, but that's really going to be kind of like the last major update that we're going to be getting, at least in terms of information. I can't wait. I just cannot wait. So it is going to be on August 11th, which is about, I would say, around 3 weeks away. So we still have 3 weeks in order to get ourselves ready and hyped. I know I am. Hopefully this is going to be a good time for my friends to start coming back to the game, because I'm getting kind of lonely hanging out there with pretty much just doing tombstones every day. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. It means a lot, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Bye!